Princess Charlotte did not need a grand speech or a dramatic public act to make people notice her transformation. The change appeared in smaller moments. It could be seen in the way she entered a crowded room, watched her parents, and stood calmly beside her brothers. The little girl who once seemed uncertain under the cameras was beginning to move with purpose. Even Prince William and Catherine appeared surprised by how quickly that quiet change had taken shape. For William, this was not simply about watching a princess learn the customs of royal life. He was watching his daughter discover who she was. Behind the formal events, palace walls and expectations surrounding the monarchy, their relationship remained simple. It was the bond between a father and his little girl. William often shows his affection through small gestures rather than public declarations. In crowded places, he stays close to Charlotte. A protective hand rests gently on her back as he guides her forward. Across a room, he checks where she is with a quick glance. When she appears uncertain, his attention returns to her. These moments are brief, but they reveal something royal ceremony cannot hide. Charlotte is part of the monarchy, but to William, she is his daughter first. Charlotte's transformation became especially clear at the Chelsea Flower Show. She was no longer simply following the adults around her. She appeared fully engaged with what she was seeing. She walked with confidence, looked closely at her surroundings, listened carefully, and showed real curiosity. Rather than shrinking away from attention, she seemed completely present. William's reaction was equally revealing. Pride in his expression seemed mixed with surprise. It was as though he was seeing a new side of Charlotte for the first time. In that moment, he was not the future king. He was a father realizing that his daughter was beginning to write her own story. Catherine has played a central role in that development. Her approach to raising Charlotte is built on balance. She understands that her daughter must learn royal traditions, public responsibility, and discipline. At the same time, she appears determined to protect Charlotte's emotional confidence and individual character. That balance could be seen during an appearance at Wimbledon. Surrounded by cameras and public attention, Charlotte seemed momentarily unsure. Catherine did not respond with a stern correction, and she did not hide her daughter from the situation. Instead, she gently touched Charlotte's hair and quietly spoke to her. The result is becoming visible. Charlotte is growing into a young girl who appears emotionally grounded. She understands when to follow protocol, but she does not seem erased by it. She can stand in a formal royal setting and still remain herself. She is not presented as a flawless princess. She is shown as a child learning how to belong in every room she enters. Several milestones have marked that journey. One of the earliest was her move from Wilcox Nursery to Thomas's Battersea. On the surface, it was a normal school transition with a new uniform, a new building, and a new routine. For Charlotte, however, it also represented another step into public life. She entered that stage beside Prince George. The image of the brother and sister walking together carried more meaning than the excitement of a first day. George was not only the older brother and future king. In that moment, he was Charlotte's familiar companion. Charlotte, in return, was not merely following him. She was beginning to stand beside him. A far more solemn milestone came during the funeral of Queen Elizabeth II. The event placed the royal family at the center of national mourning. Every movement was watched, and every expression carried emotional weight. For a child, the atmosphere alone would have been overwhelming. Charlotte stood straight and composed. She performed a respectful curtsy with a seriousness that seemed beyond her young years. Behind her, Catherine placed a gentle hand on her back. Once again, the gesture was quiet, but its meaning was unmistakable. Charlotte was being asked to take part in an important moment of royal history, yet she was not facing it alone. Charlotte's influence is also visible within family life at Adelaide Cottage. As the middle child, she occupies a unique position between George and Louis. She is younger than the future king, but older than the brother, whose energetic public reactions often attract attention. That position appears to have helped her become a stabilizing presence. Charlotte seems especially sensitive to Louis's emotions. During public events, she often notices when the noise, crowds, or cameras begin to overwhelm him. A quiet word from her can change his posture. A small glance can remind him what to do. When Charlotte waves to the crowd, Louis often follows her example. George also seems to benefit from her steady presence. His future carries a burden that neither Charlotte nor Louis will experience in exactly the same way. From an early age, he has been surrounded by questions about duty, succession, and the crown. Charlotte cannot remove that pressure, but she can stand beside him as a sister rather than as another person demanding something from him. In this way, Charlotte has become a quiet leader within the family. She is not the eldest child, and she is not the future monarch. Yet leadership does not always belong to the person with the highest title. Sometimes it belongs to the person who notices when someone else is struggling and knows how to help. Her emerging strength is part of a wider change in the way William and Catherine are raising their children. The older royal model often placed duty above personal choice. Individual paths were tightly connected to birth order, public expectation, and the needs of the institution. William and Catherine appear to be offering something more flexible. Charlotte is being taught royal responsibility, but she is also being encouraged to see herself as an independent person. Her future does not have to be defined entirely by her title. She can develop skills, interests, and ambitions beyond palace life. Being a princess should not prevent her from becoming a capable young woman with her own voice. Her preparation is described as modern and far-reaching, extending from tactical driving courses to lessons in international diplomacy. The idea is not to prepare Charlotte only to stand beside other royals. It is to give her the confidence and knowledge to make informed choices for herself. That represents a quiet shift inside the House of Windsor. Charlotte is growing up with the understanding that tradition can be respected without erasing individuality. She can value the crown without measuring her entire worth through it. She can support George without living only in his shadow. She can guide Louis without being defined only by that role. Together, William and Catherine are creating an environment in which Charlotte can learn the rules without believing those rules are her whole identity. That may explain why her confidence feels natural rather than rehearsed. She is not simply copying a royal image. She is gradually learning how to carry responsibility in her own way. The transformation has not happened through one dramatic turning point. It has unfolded through a sequence of moments. The move from Wilcox's nursery to Thomas's Battersea showed her moving forward beside George. The Chelsea flower show revealed her curiosity and growing confidence. Wimbledon showed Catherine's gentle guidance. The funeral of Queen Elizabeth displayed Charlotte's composure during national grief. Life at Adelaide Cottage has shown her influence on George and Louis. Taken together, these moments tell a clear story. Charlotte is no longer seen only as the shy little girl who stayed close to her mother's hand. She is becoming observant, self-controlled, and emotionally aware. She understands more of the world around her, but she has not lost the warmth that makes her connection with her family so visible. Her journey also challenges an old assumption about royal importance. Charlotte may not hold the same place in the line of succession as George, but her value within the family cannot be measured through succession alone. She gives Louis confidence. She offers George companionship. She brings William pride and allows Catherine's thoughtful parenting to be seen in action. That is why her story resonates beyond royal titles. Many families recognize the middle child who learns to move between different personalities. Many parents recognize the shock of seeing a once shy child suddenly speak with confidence. Many siblings understand the quiet influence of the person who can calm a tense moment without demanding attention. Charlotte's development is therefore both royal and deeply ordinary. The setting includes palaces, major public events, and centuries of tradition. The emotions are those found in any family. A father watches his daughter grow. A mother offers reassurance. An older brother walks beside his sister. A younger brother copies someone he trusts. The future will bring greater expectations. Charlotte will face more public appearances, more questions, and more attempts to define her before she can define herself. Yet the foundation described in these moments gives her a strong starting point. She is learning that her voice matters, that confidence can be quiet, and that leadership can begin with compassion. William may one day become king, and George may eventually follow him. Their paths are closely tied to the crown. Charlotte's path is less fixed, and that may become one of her greatest strengths. She has room to shape a role that reflects both royal service and personal independence. She can become a source of stability without disappearing behind her family. She can respect tradition without being limited by it. She can remain close to her brothers while building a future of her own. The most important transformation is not that she looks more confident in front of cameras. It is that she appears to believe she belongs there. That belief is visible in her posture, her attention, and her ability to help those around her. It is visible when she listens carefully at a public event, follows royal protocol during a solemn ceremony, or offers Louis the guidance he needs. It is visible when George stands beside her as a brother, rather than only as a future king. Princess Charlotte is still a child, and her story is only beginning. No single appearance can fully reveal who she will become. The source does not provide exact dates for every event, and it does not offer detailed proof for every prediction about her future. What it does show is a consistent pattern of growth. That pattern begins with family. Catherine gives her emotional security. William gives her visible pride and protection. George gives her companionship. Louis gives her the chance to practice patience and care. Through these relationships, Charlotte is learning qualities that public duty alone could never teach. Her transformation has captured attention because it feels genuine. The quiet child is becoming a quietly confident young girl. The sister is becoming a guide. The daughter is becoming a source of pride. The princess is becoming an individual in a monarchy often defined by rank, ceremony, and history. Charlotte's most powerful quality may be her ability to make leadership look human. She does not need to stand at the center of every event or speak the loudest. Her influence is seen in the people around her and in the calm she brings to difficult moments. True leadership does not begin with a crown. It begins with awareness, responsibility, and the courage to remain kind under pressure. Charlotte is learning those lessons in public. The world once may continue to watch her because she is a princess. Yet the moments people remember most will likely be the ones that reveal the daughter, the sister, and the young girl behind the title. A gentle word to Louis, a steady presence beside George, a reassuring touch from Catherine, a proud look from William. Those simple moments are shaping the next chapter of the royal family. They show that centuries of tradition can still leave room for emotional growth, personal choice, and quiet courage. Charlotte is not rewriting the monarchy through rebellion or grand declarations. She is doing it by growing into herself. For William, that may be the most moving transformation of all. The daughter he once guided carefully through every crowded room is beginning to walk with confidence on her own. He is still close enough to protect her, but he is also learning when to step back and watch, in that space between protection and independence. Princess Charlotte's future is taking shape. It is a future built not only on royal duty, but on trust, family, and the belief that her worth extends far beyond any title she may carry.